In the gospel reading today, there are layers of meaning. The first speaks directly to this time of year, the time of the harvest, the time of gathering things in. Here in the frozen north, we're a little bit past harvest time, but in more warmer climes, such as those of the time and the place, this would still be the time of harvest, the time to gather into storehouses. And there were those who were wealthy and had great land, who had far more than they needed, and they would take the grain that had been labored on by many and gather it into the great storehouses. And the poor who saw it gathered in, this fruit of their labors on another man's land, knew that in the winter time, before the next harvest, when their stores were running out and everyone was hungry, this food they had labored on would be sold at a high markup. And it is to this reality that the Lord speaks, condemning this wealthy man for his stinginess and his selfishness. So the surface meaning of the gospel is simply that we, when we are blessed to possess wealth, must not consider it something that is ours to possess, but must understand, must be rich toward God, as the gospel says at the end, must be generous to those who are in need. This is the surface meaning. The second speaks to us here in our time of Thanksgiving, reminding us that as we are blessed with bountiful plenty on our tables in our families together in this coming week, we must not forget those who are in need elsewhere. A simple reminder, but a good and a blessed one, and one that persists not only for this week of Thanksgiving, but throughout the winter months, throughout the holidays, throughout Christmas and Theophany, and moving into Great Lent. We who have enough must exercise the love of the Lord that has been freely given to us, to those who are in need around us. There is a deeper spiritual point, however. This simple reality of when we are blessed, we must share the blessing. When we have enough, when we have plenty, we must ensure that we care for those around us. There is a deeper spiritual point. We must beware of ease. We must beware of thinking that we have arrived. We must be cautious of considering that our life now is good and we don't need anything else. This is not a question of whether we must give to others, although that is always present. A gift of God to us to save us from the spiritual death of apathy. We know what this is like. We stand in our home. Perhaps we have finished painting, have finished reorganizing, we have bought something and we have placed it. We have gotten rid of something and we like the way the room looks, and we sit there, we stand and look around and say, this is good. We won't ever have to change it again. Of course, the older we grow, the more we know, of course, we will have to change it again. It will work for a time. But we know this feeling that now life is good. Now I have enough children. Now I have a good relationship with my parents. Now I have the car I've been dreaming of forever. Now I finally have the workout schedule that I've been trying to put myself on for so long. Now I can bench 250. Hmm? We are not created to be satisfied with the things of this world. We are not created to be content, to say, now I have enough. So I will say to my soul, be at ease, eat, drink, be merry. We are not created to stop. We are created for eternal communion with God. And every time that we think, now I'm done, now I have enough, now if I can just freeze my life at this stage, and I'll be fine. This is a sin. What we are in effect saying is, I have found the cocktail of life in the world that can replace God. I don't need Him anymore. I'm good. And this is a lie. Glory be to God, our impatient and uncontent mind and heart will assure us of that soon, even when we fall into saying these words. It is a lie. And the danger for us, when we find ourselves ill-content with what we have gained, is to think, well, the problem is, I was wrong about what stuff would make me happy. Let's try again and find a better car, a fancier computer, a new gaming system, a fancier church, a different spouse, a stronger drug. And this is sin. So, as we consider the gospel, yes, let us be generous to those who are in need. When we have plenty, let us share it with others. Not because we are guilted into doing so, not because God will be mad at us if we are selfish, although this is a true thing, He will be. But because to give to those who are in need, to share the plenty that we have been given, this keeps us from falling into the sin of holding fast to the world and saying, this is enough for me, I don't need God. To give, to share, to be generous is to let go of possessions, to let go of the lie that this world can satisfy. Because only the Lord, only His love, only His presence, only communion with Him, only there do our hearts find rest. So therefore, let us stand. Let us approach the Lord. Let us find rest and peace and joy in Him. Please stand.